Welcome to One-on-One with biGObi, where we highlight people making a difference in the community. I am your host, Kelechi Eke, and today with me is Attorney Chika Anyiam. She is running for Judge of the Criminal District Court number 2 of Dallas County. Welcome, Attorney Anyiam. Thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I've been following your campaign trail, and I would like to ask you to tell our audience who Chika Anyiam is.
Well, Chika Anyiam is just an ordinary member of your community. I've lived in Dallas County for over 20 years now. I'm raising a family of 4 wonderful children. I've been married for 23 years. And my children are doing so well in the Dallas area. My oldest son just graduated from the Texas A&M University. He's an engineer and he got a job right away.
Awesome.
My second boy is 22 years old. He will graduate from the Texas A&M University this year. And then I have 2 younger children, my 15-year-old son and my 11-year-old daughter. So we kind of started again, my husband and I. We're not going to be empty nesters anytime soon.
That is quite impressive. You are able to handle all these, the family responsibilities for kids in America. Wow, that's quite admirable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Coming from Africa, where women rarely hold the type of position that you are pursuing, could you tell us what motivated you to want to become a judge, especially in the Dallas County?
Absolutely. Well, I've practiced criminal defense for over 24 years. I started out in, well, let me tell you a little bit about my education. It cuts across different continents. When I was younger, my parents lived in London, in England, and so I did my elementary school there. When they moved back to Nigeria, I got my high school education, and I went to law school in Nigeria. I graduated at the age of 20.
Oh, wow.
And I was the youngest in my class. And so I practiced criminal defense, civil law, and other areas of law in Nigeria for about 7 years, more than 7 years actually, or just about 7 years. And then moved with my family to the U.S. I had 2 young children, my 2 older boys. And in 1997, the State Bar of Texas told us that we didn't have to go back to school. My husband is also a criminal defense attorney.
Awesome.
And so we didn't have to go back to school because Nigerian laws are based on the common law of England, which is also what the U.S. laws are based on. And I had more than 5 years of experience as an attorney. And so they said, just take the bar exams and you'll be fine. And so I took the bar exams in 1997, passed it the first time around, and I've been practicing criminal defense since then.
Wow. And
I believe that a woman, if she works hard, that she can do whatever a man can do and even more. And so I consider myself shoulder to shoulder with both the men and the women who practice law around the world. And I have this passion for justice, equal justice for all. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for judge of the Criminal District Court number 2.
That's quite impressive. Now, I followed you on the news as well. Recently, during the disaster that happened here in the Dallas area, yes. I saw you were involved in cleaning up all the debris that the tornado caused. Could you tell us more about your involvement in the community?
Absolutely. You know, most of us don't take the time to help others who are in need because we're too busy with our own lives. I mean, I can understand that because I myself, I have 4 children. I have a full-time job as an attorney. My husband and I office together. We own a private law firm. And so I've tried to make out time from my busy schedule to help others who are in need, the less fortunate, the underprivileged. And I think it's really important because, you know, the way you measure a society is in how they treat their underprivileged. And we need to take care of those people. And that's why I'm also passionate about the mentally ill in the justice system. And so I've gone out volunteering through churches, giving out free food and clothing to the poor and also to the tornado victims. I've also volunteered at legal clinics, giving free advice to people who need to talk to lawyers. We also give free advice at my law office in criminal cases. And any time that I have that I can spare to make a difference in the community, I do that. I really applaud people who are out there on a daily basis. Those who their circumstances allow to be out there more frequently, I really applaud them. But I think we all should make out time, no matter how busy we are, to help the underprivileged.
That's true. Well, that's quite noble of you, and doing everything that you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You just mentioned one thing that caught my attention throughout your campaign is the fact that you are very passionate about the mental health cases. And to me, that resonated as, you being a voice, for the voiceless. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yes, of course. Throughout my 17 years plus of practicing criminal defense here in Dallas County, I've also represented the mentally ill. Okay. And they're really a special category of people because they really don't know what they're doing. Okay. We have the violent ones and we have the non-violent ones. But the connection there is that they're all mentally ill. Some of them just need some medication to be, back on track, to become competent. And some of them will never be restored to competency. And so the group of people that I've been talking about mostly throughout my campaign are the ones that we shouldn't really give a criminal history before we give them treatment or allow them to go back into society. Because first of all, they don't really know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They're not violent, and their crimes are minor crimes and offenses. And so what we really need to do, instead of wasting county resources, leaving them in the jail, or putting them through the probation process, which they really can't do in the first place, is to get them back on track. Get them back on their medications, get them the treatment that they need through the criminal justice system. And that way, we're saving the county resources and we're also making them whole again as much as possible. And it won't be an issue because there are other courts that are already running some mental health diversion programs, but the criteria for admitting the mentally ill into those programs are so different. And not everyone can get into that program. For example, you have to be on probation. Mm-hmm. You have to have mental health issues as a result of drug consumption. And so there are a vast number of mentally ill that cannot fit into that program, and that's what my court will do. So that we can divert it'll be a sort of pre-trial process where you don't have to enter a plea to a judge and you can go on back into the community without a conviction. It's already funded, and so funding won't be an issue. And so that's one thing I'm passionate about. I don't like the mentally ill being taken advantage of, and I know it's an epidemic in the community. I've been talking to voters out in the community, and they really want someone, a judge, who will take the time to take care of this special category of people.
Wow, that's quite touching. So you're doing actually double work there. You're not only helping these people get back on track with their daily lives, you're also saving the county, a lot of money and resources from throwing them and putting them away. And a lot of people don't realize it's quite expensive.
Yes. It takes about $60,000 a year.
Wow.
To house and feed an inmate. And I know a lot of people who don't make that amount of money. Yeah. And so it's a lot. And if we can cut down on that, for deserving defendants, for the mentally ill who do not need to be sitting in jail, mm-hmm. I think we should do that.
Awesome. That's very good. Well, on that note brings me the question to please tell us what really differentiates you from your opponents.
Well, I do have two other opponents. The difference is that I've been immersed in the Dallas County community at the Frank Crowley Court Building, which is where this court is located, Criminal District Court number 2. I've practiced in that building for more than 17 years.
Wow.
My practice is solely criminal defense at this point, but in the beginning I did practice some immigration law, some family law, and some juvenile law. These cases overflow into the criminal justice system. When families accuse each other of assault and things like this, or injury to a child. And so I have that background. Especially immigration is a hot topic right now with the refugees coming in.
That's right.
And family violence is a hot topic too. It's something we all need to be concerned about. And this starts in the family situation, where you have a divorce, you have custody issues and things like this. And so I'm the one with the background who has the immigration experience to deal with the immigration issues that may come up in a criminal proceeding. Also, one of my opponents doesn't practice in Dallas County. If she does, it's close to zero presence at the Frank Crowley Court building. She practices over in Cullen County and in Denton County, and hardly any of the judges know her over at the Frank Crowley. We need a judge who knows the issues at the Frank Crowley Court building and in the Dallas community. We need a judge who will have a good rapport with all the other judges and the court personnel. I have the respect of all the judges at the Frank Crowley Court building. I have been voted over a period of 12 years unanimously by them as qualified to take indigent cases and try felony cases all the way up to first degree felonies. And I've been doing that. I've tried all levels of felonies in all the courts of the Frank Crowley Court building, something which my opponents have not done. So they're not as immersed as I am in the criminal justice system right here in Dallas County.
Interesting.
Also, I'm the only candidate who's been voted twice and at all by the local Criminal Defense Lawyers Association. So I'm the only one who's been voted 2 years in a row, 2014 and 2015, as one of Dallas County's best criminal defense lawyers. And it's because I do a good job of making sure that my clients' rights are protected, whether they're guilty or not, because every defendant is entitled to good representation from a lawyer. One of my opponents does not accept indigent cases, which is, appointments from the court. And as I said, I've been qualified by all the judges in the court unanimously to handle all levels of felonies. And I believe this is upholding the Constitution, helping indigent defendants to have fair trials. You could get in trouble tomorrow, and after all your bills are paid, you find yourself, not being able to hire those top dollar attorneys. And so you would need someone like me to represent you. And I've made myself available because under the law, if you're indigent, you're entitled to have an attorney appointed to you if you cannot hire your own attorney. So, attorneys like myself have put ourselves out there to help this process. It's not a perfect system, but it works.
Awesome. Well, you've heard her, folks. She's a type of attorney that will relate to you directly. She's very well grounded and all aspects of law that you can think of, very vast and knowledgeable in the different areas of law practice. So be prepared to make up your mind as you vote very soon. You have a very great candidate here. So having said that, everything you've accomplished in law, like you mentioned, you've been voted a number of times as one of the best criminal defense attorneys that we have in this Dallas County.
I've also been endorsed by local elected officials, such as the county treasurer, Pauline Medrano. I've also been endorsed by the Preston Hollows Democratic Club of Dallas County. I've also been endorsed by the Teamsters Local Union 745, which represents hardworking men and women in Dallas County. And I'm very proud of that. They've endorsed me as the better candidate for this bench.
Yes, I was actually driving at that. I was doing some more research on you. Some judges actually on YouTube, praising your work and praising everything that you've done. And it's quite encouraging. It's something you should be proud of when your seniors in the field are speaking so highly of you. I came across some of those things as I was doing some research about you.
Absolutely.
So, well, if you may, please look at the audience and tell them for the last time in this show, we will wrap it up, why they should go out and vote for you.
I need your vote and your support to make me the next judge of the Criminal District Court number 2 of Dallas County, because I am the candidate who's qualified and ready to serve on day one on that bench. I'm the only one who's been voted by the Dallas County Criminal Defense Lawyers Association as one of Dallas County's best criminal defense attorneys. I don't take that lightly. That takes the guesswork out of it for the voters. Also, I'm the only candidate who has articulated a mental health diversion program, an improvement to the court, because the court right now does not run any type of program. And so this is one improvement that I want to bring to that particular court. Again, a good trial lawyer makes a good trial judge. As a trial judge, you have to be ready to make those rulings, make those calls on your feet as the case is going on before you. And so being as experienced as I am in the criminal justice system, having tried all levels of felonies in all the district courts in the Frank Crowley Court building, I am ready and I'm experienced. I know the law. I know the facts of my clients' cases whenever I get them, and I know how to apply the law to them. And that's all that's required of a trial judge. And I will be fair. I'll be impartial. I'll be tough on crimes where I need to be. Those violent criminals that rape and vandalize our neighborhoods, I know they belong in prison. I also believe in second chances for nonviolent offenders who want to get a second chance to be rehabilitated into society. So vote for me and I will not disappoint you. Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Well, go out there and vote for Attorney Chika Anyiam. Thank you very much for coming to our show.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure having you.
My pleasure. Thank you
you.
for having me.